Hi Pantsers. I have 2 pages of notes to get through, so I'm just going to get started and hope I can fit it all in. This week we're supposed to be talking about something interesting. The thing that I have come up with to talk about is not so much an interesting topic as it is an interesting thing I have. This book, which is called Yoga Anatomy, it's by Leslie Kaminoff. I'm not a yoga expert or anything. I don't really have any massive store of knowledge about yoga, but it's something I've been interested in a casual hobbyist kind of way for a long time. I don't really do it a lot anymore because I'm a big procrastinator, but my friend Brian and I spent a year doing yoga together 4 days a week, and it was actually really awesome. I kind of wish that I could get up that much effort and commitment again. The cool thing about this book is that it has illustrations like these. And it has all this information about what each posture does and how it affects your body and things you should focus on, how to refine the postures, basically. It's a surprisingly interesting thing to look at. I haven't read it straight through, but I've read parts of it. It's strangely fascinating. I'm not really normally that interested in anatomy or medical sorts of things. I like knowing how things work, and so this is kind of something that I really like because I like finding out how stuff happens. This is my favorite of the illustrations I've seen so far. And now we've reached the second part of the video where I'm going to talk about all the notes that I made on your guys' videos. Zoe, I had a really good time this week talking to you in the comments of your video about technology and the speed at which technology moves. It's really interesting to think about how much technology has changed just in the past, like, 30 years or so. And if you think about how much it's changed in the past, say, like 60 years, it's absolutely mind-blowing. There's a Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn movie called Desk Set. It was made in 1957, I think. There's a computer in it that's a big part of the story. They call it an electronic brain. They input data by basically just typing on a note card and inserting it into a slot in the machine, and that's pretty much the same way that it outputs as well. It's this giant wall of flashy lights. I love computers in 50s movies. It's actually a really funny movie, by the way. I would recommend it if you like 50s comedies. Shara, I'm really excited that you're in Sweden, and Julie, I'm really excited that you're about to be in Paris. I'm really excited about the idea of some of you guys, or all of you guys, being able to get together. Like Nella mentioned somewhere in one of her videos the other day that Shara and she were going to get together, and that they were hoping to get together with Leo and maybe with Julie as well, and I think that would be really awesome. I'd really like to see all of you together in one video. That would be really cool. Shara, I'm sorry you're having a rough time. I hope it gets better soon. I love the fact that you got into Hufflepuff on Pottermore. That is awesome. It makes me really happy. Every single Harry Potter test I've ever taken gives me really low scores in Slytherin and not very much higher scores in Gryffindor. Nobody in their right mind would ever put me in Gryffindor or Slytherin. I always get almost equal scores in Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. I'm kind of actually really excited about the idea of maybe getting put into Hufflepuff, because then you and I would be housemates. But I'm sure that some of the rest of you guys are probably going to get put into Ravenclaw, so I will be pretty excited about whatever house I get sorted into. House Bride! For whatever house it is. Nella, I really love your video. It was really awesome and really exciting, and I think it's really cool that you did that and that you went to the trouble to like make a video for us instead of just making one for your regular channel. That's really cool. As far as The Lord of the Rings goes, I think whenever suits you. I have started reading it to the dog. Yeah, I haven't got that far though, so it's like not really a big deal. Like, don't rush yourself. I mean, the point of it is for it to be fun. We also talked about articulating thought and how people always take something different away from your video than you necessarily intended. And I get that, and I agree with you. I think my real problem is that I think of all the things that I didn't say or that I meant to say and forgot or accidentally cut out of the video when I was editing to try and squash it down to 4 minutes. And I want to fix it, you know? I want to like go back and say all the stuff that I meant to say so that I'm offering you a complete thought. Like somewhere I have this copy of Madame Bovary where there's a foreword where they're talking about Flaubert and how he was obsessed with finding the perfect word to a really extreme degree. I feel like I can identify with him a little bit there, like not that I'm that obsessed, but get very concerned with expressing myself in the best way I can. And it bothers me when I feel like I haven't done that. Like I feel like I haven't expressed my thought the way I wanted to. I don't know why. You mentioned too about talking about our level of excellence as a channel, and I think that would be a really interesting dialogue to have. I don't really know what it is exactly that you have in mind, but I would really like to talk about it because I think it sounds like an interesting and probably useful thing for us to talk about. You also mentioned the idea of the collab drawing you out of a funk, and I kind of would like to agree with that as well. I think a part of this collab has kind of drawn me out of a funk too, I think. Part of it, I suppose, is just feeling like I have a group of friends again. Like, part of the problem with living in a small town is that everybody moves away. I'm not completely friendless, but sometimes it does get kind of lonely, and I miss having like a group. And in fact, I think that sometimes the reason that I end up interjecting these kind of weird, pointless trains of thought, like last week's hair thing, into my videos is that in some ways, you guys are my main group of people that I can have conversations with. Being a part of this collab has really genuinely made my life a lot better. I wanted to agree to, you're talking about bad collab members. I'd much rather that somebody miss a week or two because they're busy than just not being a part of it anymore at all. We've lost people who said that they were quitting the collab because they didn't feel like they could give it enough time, and I think sometimes that's code for I just don't want to do it anymore, but I want to be nice about it. I would hate to think that somebody who really wanted to be a part of the group was quitting because they felt like we didn't want them around if they couldn't be here every single week. You know, sometimes you get busy. It happens. I'm okay with that. Also, Celine, I really love your blue hair. I used to have bright orange streaks for a while, and it's my favorite thing I ever did with my hair ever. I think this video is probably going to be overtime. Oops. I love you guys. Have a great week. DFTBA.